So I want to make a quick update video um about the current state of my channel, and that is the there will be no more Destiny content. Moving forward, I tried to stick it out. I tried to wait until the what I think would be their end goal, which would be Frontiers. I'm not having fun. I'm just not. And I've probably said this before on my channel where I went back. I know people say this like clickbait. It's like I'm not having fun with this game, but I'm gonna go back. But I'm not. Um, I was hoping till Marathon came out, but I feel like a bit of a hypocrite because I've pointed out other people not being happy with the game and sticking with it despite wanting to play other things, content creators and stuff. And it's like I can't, in good conscience, keep playing um, with me saying that stuff out in the open. It's like I don't feel like being a hypocrite, and people may not care, but I do. Um, so I've thought about going back to Warframe, but I'm not sure about that either. Um, I've just played so much Warframe that it's sort of it's sort of like it's just not interesting to me right now. Maybe I'll come back later, but you know, I have other stuff going on. I may take a break from content creation. Um, so this is Honkai Star Rail that I'm playing right now. Just have something in the background. One thing I did want to touch on is I'm trying to get into more like current events and not just drama. I frankly hate that shit. There's so much shit there you could talk about, and it's just like I want to talk about stuff that matters. And one thing I've wanted to touch on is I had some interesting discussion with my dad, who I'm not going to dox anybody, but had stuff happen to him. He grew up Catholic, and had stuff happen to him as a child, and we were talking about what Prager said about being okay with. I'm paraphrasing, but you want people I want people to fact check me on this. I really do. Is to that he was okay with cartoons of underage children, like hentai. Let's just say that. I'm not getting monetized, so fuck it. And the conversation I had with him is sort of like the bill in the Senate for the bill to do with what Texas is doing, and it's sort of like people are going to be attracted to underage children. That's just how it is. You know, you look at countries like Asia, you look at the Asian countries, you look at all the other parts of the world that do that historically. That's just how it is. And I pointed out to him that my dad, that I'd rather have people would rather have grown men and women look at cartoon pictures than look at than do that to grown children, you know, real children, you know, like not cartoon pictures. One thing that the bill did touch on is efforts to combat AI art, and I can sort of see the merit of that, where I've seen some AI art that people have used, and it's sort of like it looks real. It looks a little too real. It's not uncanny. It's like it looks like it could be someone's child, and I think that's where the line has to be drawn. Is that it's really that AI should be gone after. Is a problem. And all this to say that this is in general is just a it's a smokescreen. It's a fucking smokescreen. Really, it's just like certain states forcing porn sites to have age restrictions. They can't, in all reality, actually find out what your age is. And even if they require you to take a picture of your license, that could be a fake license or a fake ID. And then you have VPNs going on. Like, realistically, that's what's going to happen. They outlaw this stuff. People are going to use VPNs. It's just how it is. People can afford an internet connection to look at that stuff. They can afford a VPN, even if you're working at Walmart or McDonald's. It's just a lot of bullshit to go over the real fact that I'm sure that real children and women that are being raped and trafficked appreciate these grown-ass men and women wasting their time and their taxpayer money going after cartoon pictures. I'm sure it helps the people that the Houthi rebels and them are raping, and I'm sure it helps other things like that. You know, actual things that are happening. You know, just like income problems, parts of America that are living in poverty environments, election fraud, just all sorts of stuff, and yeah, well, we're gonna go after cartoons. We're gonna have to go after cartoons, and part of it, I can't help but wonder if this has a lot to do with the whole thing, the whole backlash with American aid or USAID being shut down. I wonder how many of these senators and how many people have interests that worked for them pushing USAID, right? That they got money on the back end or whatever. Politicians are not all bad people, but they're not by any means a altruistic animal. They rarely do things because they want to. They don't get paid enough. A lot of them don't. We've seen corruption with presidents where they don't get paid enough either. And there's just all sorts of stuff that goes on in the background. This isn't just, I think, about anime. It's about the fact that if a lot of these people were looked into that were trying to fight against this bill, they would have a lot worse stuff on their computer than hentai. I'm just gonna say that. I would wonder how many of these people were actually in Epstein's black book, to be honest. But by all means, go after cartoon characters. Right? Let's just go back in history and look and see how legislating morality works for America. Let's see the attempt at sobering up America during the temperance movement. Let's see how that worked. Oh yeah, that's right. The mafia. The mafia got its foothold in America because of the temperance movement. Everybody forgets that. Turning weed and kratom into a Schedule I narcotic. That put a whole black market out there. That just blew up. Trying to legislate homosexuality, or just any sexuality. That's real. That's really helping things as well. That just sort of blew up in their faces as well. That's a whole shitstorm. Climate change. They tried to legislate that. Going for Planned Parenthood and then going against it and then going for it again. You can't win with that. Just every time you try to tell people what they can and cannot do, humans hate that shit. It doesn't matter. You could put rat poison in a piece of cake and you could tell enough people, hey, there's rat poison in here, don't eat it. Someone's gonna be like, fuck you, I'm going to eat it. And then I'm going to go to the hospital and make other people pay for it. That's how we are. And this is gonna backfire. It's just a desperate measure to appeal to the dinosaurs out there that have moralized themselves into thinking that they're always right. That the same people who send their kids to school where they're taught that 2 + 2 is 5. Those people that sit their kids in front of a TV all day and give them a phone, but they're gonna go up in an uproar about hentai. Your kids shouldn't be watching hentai. They shouldn't be looking at that. You should be in your kids' lives looking at what they're fucking watching. If they are under age, then they should, one, probably not be having a smartphone, and two, if you're giving them a smartphone, put a tracker on that shit. Right? Like, who is this bill for? Right? Like, this is sort of like I've had a family member that constantly brings up about like someone being gay or about where they put their dick, and it's sort of like if you're bringing that up all the time, then that says a lot more about you than about me or about anybody else. Like if you're that fixated on a cartoon girl or boy, it's like, you better find some shit out about yourself. You know, you better get the grip before the grip gets you. And I would guess a lot of what this is what's going to come of this is that people are going to get their, you know, like people are going to get hacked, right? You look and see how easy it was for Clinton to get hacked, Hillary Clinton to get hacked. Her servers were a fucking mess. The servers that they rigged for the election to get Biden in, that was a mess. Not to mention showing blatant rigging of people pulling out suitcases and pulling ballots out or just dumping them in the woods. And it's like this doesn't benefit anybody. And all it's going to do is it's going to, one, make the pirating market much stronger than it already is. And it's going to incentivize people to start doing VPNs. What are you going to do? Legislate VPNs? How many of these politicians have VPNs? How many of them have private networks that they use, that they set up? How many of them were caught up in Pizzagate and Comet Ping Pong and all that shit that came out? Right? It's like, ask the FBI, ask the people who had to watch actual footage of children being brutally raped and cut up like pieces of meat. Ask them what they would rather have watched, because if they would rather watch like hentai or anime versions of that, or just look at hentai porn, they probably wouldn't have killed themselves. They probably wouldn't be on narcotics to get through their miserable lives now. There's a lot of people that are going through PTSD because of that shit. If all they had to do was look at rape comics, I would guarantee you they'd rather look at that. And maybe these senators should actually look at that. Ask the people who had to go through the fucking Epstein files, all this footage. Force them to sit down and watch that footage. Actual kids and women and men. Because that's the shit that actually matters. Anyway, that's my small rant, and thank you for watching, and have a